Okay, everybody. So we are here at what I affectionately call the resort, and got a surprise here. When I got home, there's something here waiting for me. Let's take a look what we got here. Notice the box right here in front of the house. It's a little care package from our friends over at Ego. They asked me to evaluate this string trimmer, the 15-inch. I'm pretty excited about that. I was actually looking at this one myself, and I am very, very interested in it. And they offered it to us as a sample for the testing. So I wanted to put a thank you out to our friends over at Ego. So we're going to do a little bit of day one unpacking, open the box, see what we got. Give you our impressions as they are formed. All right, let's do this. The Ego 56 volt 15-inch string trimmer. This is the new one for 2015. Got a number of upgrades over the 12-inch model. So we're gonna open this thing up, and you'll see first impressions as they're happening. All right, let's get this guy out of here. Okay. Well, it's packaged. Protective egg carton. Looks good. Got the typical manuals. We've got charging base. I think this is a different one than we have with our lawnmower. Looks different. So I'm going to assume this is a slow charger, because our fast charger for the lawnmower has a 4-amp battery, which I think is, yeah, it's twice as big as this one. This is a 2-amp battery. The 4-amp battery gets charged in 30 minutes. I had read earlier that this battery charges, this is a battery half the size, charges in 40 or 45 minutes. So it implies to me that that's a slow charger. But we'll see. So I'm wondering if this is going to fit onto my fast charge Ego charger. I suspect it will, but we'll see. So it just goes right on there. All right. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. That's a plug it in. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to just do a check and see how intuitive this is. Actually, already I'm seeing a plus, which tells me it's intuitive. Notice the two halves are already connected. I did not expect this. I did not expect the two halves to be connected together. This is a positive for me. It's a plus. It's just one more step. You just extend it. Definitely have both poles in the right orientation, because it's shipped already almost pre-assembled right there. Look at that. And I think if you had to stick it in the car, you could unscrew and put it away if you needed to. If you needed to store it. So this is a big plus for me. Okay, this is great. So there's no guesswork as to the orientation of these two poles. It's already done. I have not even read instructions yet. It's pretty obvious to me that you open this thing up to put it together. It's very obvious. I'll bet in the instructions it tells you don't hold this against yourself and pull towards you, because you're gonna grab your body right in there and you're gonna be hurting. Watch your fingers, and I think you just straighten it out like that. That's it. This is really solid. I mean, it looks to me like metal at this joint. I think it is, but I'm gonna just do it. It is metal. I'm shocked. This is metal. This is really solid. This is very well made. think this is metal. I believe it's metal. Oh, actually, it might be a polymer, but it looks pretty strong. It looks pretty strong. Okay. It's very well made, very tight. Okay, so let's see what else we got in here. It's typical, this is the guard. It's like a two-piece. This is a interesting guard. It's got a little rubber thing. No, it's not a guard. This is a handle with a rubber thing. Okay, I see it's got 1/2 screwed on already, so you probably have to, I'm guessing, loosen these bolts and then put it where you want it, and then actually you probably have to take off the bolts. That's my guess. But we'll find out when we get into the instructions. All right, so this is it. This is it. There's not that many pieces actually. I'm counting 1, 2, 3 pieces for the machine, and then you've got a battery and a charger. Yeah. Relatively few pieces here, so it should be a no-brainer to put this thing together. Here's the bolts. Let's see what these instructions say. Need help? I don't think I need help. It's pretty simple. Do you need a whole pamphlet to know how to work a battery? I don't think so. Charger. I think you just plug it in and use it. But here we go. These are the instructions. Let's take a look at this. What we got? Alright, just flipping through, just want to see where they get into the assembly here. Okay, so they start with mounting. They start here with, okay, unfolding the shaft. I did it right, unfold the shaft. Hey, look at this. Warning, these guys are smart. Do not hold the shaft at the joints in order to avoid pinching your hands or fingers, and I'm going to add your body. Don't hold it against your chest or your stomach, or you're going to be pinching yourself. Okay? Alright, let's see what we got. It's basically, I mean, it's visual. That's the easiest thing. You just straighten it out and stick 2 screws in there. That's it. Straighten it out and stick the 2 screws. Let's do it. 2 screws. There are only 2 screws in here. And it's got a fantastic hex tool, which is nice. Everything's complete. I did not bring any tools out here. There were none of my tools were used in the assembly of this fine product here. Put the bolts in. So use your hand to get it started. Okay, now it's tight. Okay. So we got this nut here. You put it right into the hole. There's really just 2 screws that hold this on, and they have a hex head. That's what the tool is for. It'd be nice if there was a little knob with that you do hand turn and turn it. Open nuts, but I think my understanding is, well, that would be nice. The Ego team found through a lot of their consumer research that consumers did not really see a need to have it fold in half. In fact, it stores pretty nicely in the garage as it is. And I'm probably going to have to agree with them. I'm going to stick it in my garage in the corner or on the wall, and I'm not going to be driving around with this thing. If I do need to drive around with a weed whacker, I've got a small portable one that's it's not a professional grade, not professional grade like this one, but this is a huge weed whacker in comparison. Wow, this is almost twice as long as my other one. This is going to get the job done, I think. I got a big job ahead that I got planned out for this thing, which is going to be the ultimate torture test. We got over an acre of land here. A lot of the mountain hill behind us we've gotten overgrown with some weed neglect here, and I'm relying on our friends at Ego to help us get that rectified. Judging from the quality of this so far, I mean, this really feels like a professional build. I'm pretty excited. I think we're going to do well. Alright. So I'm going to give it, it's generally a good idea, once it's tight, you give it, not too much, you give it a quarter turn. On this one, maybe it's an eighth of a turn. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Here we are. It's a nice looking machine. This is the variable speed. I don't know which one is which. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to read the instructions and find out. Oh, that does something. That, oh, okay, my guess is this is the safety, and then this is the trigger to the variable speed. Unless you push this down first, you cannot engage and turn this on. So you want your hand on it. Makes sense. Very nice design. I'm excited about variable speed. Okay, let's get this thing on here. We got a few more pieces to do. Okay, so okay, so let's see what else we got here. Loosen the bolts on the guard. Yep, loosen the bolts on the guard, that's right. With that wrench, take off the bolts and washers, lift the trimmer head, face it down, align the two mounting holes in the guard with the two assembly holes in the base of the shaft. Okay. Make sure internal surface of the guard faces towards the trimmer. I think we can figure that out. Lock the guard in place. Pretty simple. Judging from this, there should be some nice high quality mounts. Alright, let's see what we got. I'm looking right at them already. There they are. There's some mounts right there. Which way does this thing go? There it is. Does it go that way? I think it does. Let's check our manual again one more time. So you got this thing in front of you, and yeah, this thing is sticking behind. That is it. That is it. Let's get this on. Alright. Pop off the hex nut. They come off pretty easy. So there's a washer on here. So you turn it, make sure you don't lose that washer. If you do, no big deal. I think it's okay. You just tighten it up, but we didn't lose the washer. These come off pretty easily. Simple. Alright, so we're gonna have this is gonna be, it's got a beautiful eagle on top. That's gonna be right there. There it is. That's gonna be on the bottom. Okay. So you just gotta put it on. Let's get it going. I think I'm doing this right. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this thing right? I don't think so. That's not right. That looks more right. I thought I took the screws off from the inside of this thing. Oh, that's the way it looks. Right. I could be mistaken, but I thought I took the screws out from the inside. I think I did. But you can tell it's a cutout here, so obviously the pole's got to go here. These definitely have to go through this side here. So let's do it. I wonder why they don't put the screws in from the other side. This doesn't really make sense. You should have had the screws already screwed in from this side. You know what I mean? Well, why do they make me take out the screw here? Okay. Loosen the 2 bolts in the guard, which I did. Remove the bolts and spring washers, which I did. Lift the trimming head and face it downward. Align the 2 mounting holes in the guard with the 2 assembly holes in the base of the shaft. Make sure the internal surface of the guard faces towards the trimmer head. Lock the guard in place with the bolts and hex wrench. And it would appear I am assembling this incorrectly. So, these do not screw in the bottom like this. I can see why Ego told me to remove the bolts, because they should not be attached directly to this. These bolts should be actually in the Ego machine itself, I think. I think they should have put it right into the machine. But so, judging from this, we've got to put this here. We've got to put these here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. And then this has got to go on top here. That makes more sense. Actually, I can see why they didn't screw it into this, because this is not threaded, this part of the Ego machine. There's just a hole here. So that makes sense. They couldn't do that. So, okay. Alright, that's just the way it is. Let's get this on. So this goes here. That's the way it goes, guys. Like that. Oops. That's not right. That's not right. Nothing. I guess I didn't screw it in far enough. You gotta screw it all the way in there. Okay, I could feel it grabbing. It grabbed. Now, what was I screwing in before? I thought it was going into the silver part, but it's not. It goes. It just. This is a bracket basically, and there's holes. You push it down, and then these bolts will grab into the threaded part of the plastic shield. So that looks okay. That's fine. Okay. Nice and tight. This is plastic, so you really don't want to make this too tight. Just a tiny bit. That's good enough. It's pretty solid. All right. So let's take a look at this thing. What do we do with this handle here? Handle is right there. Okay, so you got to loosen the 4 screws again in the handle. This time with a Phillips screwdriver. So I need a screwdriver. I'll get my screwdriver. Take out the screws, washers, flat washer, lower clamp, which is right there, the little lower clamp. Attach the front assist handle and lower clamp on the shaft. Secure them by pre-tightening the 4 screws. Okay, turn this thing upward so it points towards the top of the handle. I guess it's like this, probably like this, probably like that. Okay. So you adjust it somewhere so your front arm is straight when using the trimmer. That's what you do. So your front arm is straight, you put it to the right length. Okay, simple enough. Let's go get a screwdriver. Alright everybody, it's a lot of work. You know what I need? Abracadabra. That's perfect. I need a cold one. This is a lot of work. That's good. That's good. All right, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Gotta get some handle going here. Gotta get the handle on there. So I remember from before, I said to loosen this piece up, and we need a screwdriver to do that. So I want to tell you about a little bit more about this while we're doing this work here. So this particular motor, if you're looking at it there, this is a brushless motor. So brushless is, if you know how motors work mechanically, there are mechanical motors with brushes. There is a brush which is attached to the center part of the motor that spins, and it touches the sides. And the sides of the motor, there's 2 pieces, positive and negative, and it rotates, and the current somehow it enables the current to alternate in some way. Plus and minus makes the motor spin. This is a brushless motor, so there are no, and by the way, the brushes were, and they are still a common point of failure on electric motors. This is a brushless motor. So a brushless motor, there's no brush to touch. It's not contacting that way. I believe the way it works is it uses, I guess you could say it's computer controlled in the way it switches the electricity. so that magnetic field is generated that spins the motor. It will alternate and simulate, I believe, the action of what the brushes enable motors to do. So I just unscrewed this, but notice the bolt just fell out. The little nut fell out. See how I watch that? I'm going to put it over to this little flagstone table I've got going here. So what else can I tell you about this? You notice the shaft is completely straight. What I understand about that is this is professional grade. Professional grade machines are straight, and the reason for that is it's supposed to be more comfortable, and I guess I can imagine it is with a very long tool like this. This is much longer than a professional one, and longer than a consumer one. And the other thing is it's not curved, so the straight shaft is probably lets you get out and extend further. It's just all around, they say, more durable as well. So, okay, I'll take it at that. All right, we're rolling here. Need a cold one. It's a lot of work. All right. So we've got the Ego here. Our handle is partially disassembled now, ready to assemble it on. Got to open the clamps by taking off 4 screws and 4 bolts. There's 4 washers. Simple enough. It's kind of intuitive. You put it on like that. Let's see if this is only one. Fits one way or both ways. I guess it fits both ways. It's the same dimensions on both sides. So put it like that. Assemble it on right there. So we've got bolts already stuck in the back of this, or nuts already stuck in the back of this thing. It's got 3. I'm gonna take advantage of those 3 and use the use our 3 bolts here and get it on. Put one finger on one side. Let's get it on there. I'm assuming I'm doing this right. Well, judging from the picture, I am. So this goes above the joint. The handle goes above the joint. You could put it down here, but it's only if you're like 10 feet tall and you got gigantic arms. But I think for the rest of us, this is the right position. Above the joint is where the handle goes. And the handle angles up. You'll see. When you get yours, the handle angles up towards you. Okay? Durability test of the battery, you just saw. Okay, so we get it on there. This is another nut. So what else can I tell you about this? This, and I can actually see it from here. The string is thicker than the string on my other lesser weed whacker or string trimmer. And this is a 0.095 diameter string. This is professional grade. This is about as technical as this video gets. 0.095 is commercial grade. 0.08 is consumer grade. What does it mean? The thinner string is what you guys are mostly accustomed to, I think, seeing in the big box home improvement stores. There's a thin string and there's a thick string. This is the thick string. This string is 20% thicker than the thin string. So what does that mean? That means that it is heavier because it's 20% thicker, and you have 20% heavier string spinning around the motor. And this is actually an important point. There's plus and minuses to that, as I understand it. I did have some really good feedback from the Ego company, the engineers there. They explained this, so I understood it better now. Not completely, but I understand it better. So the thicker string is heavier. This is 20% thicker than the consumer grade weed whackers or edge string trimmers. So you got a 20% thicker string. This is 20% heavier on the equivalent length of string. It's probably got 20% more momentum for equivalent spinning speed versus a thinner string. So you got more momentum. There's going to be more momentum. You'll get more momentum out of this hitting the grass. All things being equal, spinning at the same rate, all that, versus a string that was a thinner diameter or 20% less mass. But in reality, what does this mean? We've got a thicker, heavier string spinning around. It takes more energy, keep that in mind, to spin this. So you'll get a shorter runtime on this versus if we had replaced these strings with the thinner string, which is lighter. So okay, it takes less energy to spin it around. But this has 20% more mass, so when it hits harder. It hits hard. It's hitting hard at that weed, and this is a commercial grade. I'm going to believe that this lasts longer as well. And notice this green button. This is the bump feed. So give you a little backstory on this. When this trimmer first came out, there were some consumer challenges with it. The string was stuck, it wouldn't come out. Ego technical team immediately checked what was wrong. They found that at the factory they were winding the string too tight. So when it was shipped to the consumer, they would bump on it and the string wouldn't come out. So the Ego technical team fixed the manufacturing process, and now, as I understand it, this is not a problem anymore. So when you bump this on the ground, the string is going to get longer. Keep in mind, it must be running when you do that. You can push it, nothing's going to happen right now. There's no string coming out. It's got to be running. You bump it on the ground. We'll test that later, make sure that works. So this thing is spinning around. You got, this is 15 inches also versus 12. I don't know the difference myself, but I could imagine it's better, but we'll see in the test. So 15 inches versus the lesser trimmers, which are just definitely shorter. This 15 inches is a big cutting path. It's 15 inches from end to end. Diameter 7.5. So here we go. We've got a beautiful Ego machine here. Wanted to speak a little bit about who these guys are as well. Ego is actually this brand, this product. This is an engineering marvel created by a company called Chervon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Chervon, C-H-E-R-V-O-N. Do not confuse that with the gas station, Chevron. Do not run down to your gas station and compliment them on the fine machinery that they are making that does not use gas. It's a different company. So Chervon, C-H-E-R-V-O-N. So Chervon spent, as I understand it, based on my interviews with them and communications. They spent about 7 years developing the flagship product they have, which is the lawnmower, which I showed you on the last video. 7 years of R&D developing it with the goal in mind, and it felt so Tesla-like. It was so Tesla-like. Their goal was to match the performance of the gas machine. Feels so Tesla, doesn't it? So match the performance of the gas machine and solve for consumer challenges. Consumer challenges around the handle height, length, the comfort that you get out of the handle, the positioning. This is fully adjustable. I have a lot of room to move, and if I was 10 feet tall, I could put it down here. So solving for that challenge around the comfort of the handle. The other challenge they found was around durability, and this thinking goes for their electric lawnmowers as an objective. I think it extends to all their machines. They think about the comfort. So the comfort of the handle is key, and the other pieces around it, the durability of the handle position. The ability to store their machines is an important factor. So for me in the garage, I'm going to put this vertical. I've got a little place to hang it. I think I'm going to hang it up on a very nice soft hook like this. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's beautiful. So storage is big. They think about cutting time in terms of when you're cutting. You saw in the lawnmowers, they even think about if you're cutting at night. So hence, you saw the lights in my last video. With a lawnmower, they think about that edge case where the consumer is cutting at night. And maybe it happens a lot. Guys that work all day, they come home, they want to cut the lawn. Or it just gets dark early. Other thing to mention about Chervon company, C-H-E-R-V-O-N. This is a 7-year R&D, well, their product line, the lawnmower, etc., is a 7-year R&D effort. A 7-year R&D effort with team members from the U.S., from Europe, from Asia, working together, collaborating to innovate and create machines that match and I think rival the performance of their gas the performance of gas machines. I'm going to need a little sip here. This is too much work. Ah, that's good. It feels so Tesla-like, what we're looking at here. And we're gonna test it out. Key thing on this one is variable speed. Actually, there's many keys, but variable speed is one of them. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's what we're gonna test out a little bit later here. Other piece to mention about the straight shaft is the straight shaft is supposed to result in less vibration. Now, I don't know the engineering of that. The shape of the shaft, curved versus straight, and vibrations. But I'd have to think it's the structural integrity of this. It doesn't allow as many vibrations to come up and just hit the user. So we'll see. We're gonna test it out. We've got some good length, and we've got some mass at the back here. So I'm pretty excited about that. So let's go and charge these guys up, and we're going to time it as well. Let's see how long it takes to charge on a fast charger.
Please check out our channel, Extreme DIY Home. Look at the videos there. We have many videos on the Ego 56 volt string trimmer. We broke it up into different sections. We have chapter 1.1, which you just saw, 1.2, which is the battery charging, and then chapter 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, which are 4 torture tests, and chapter 3 is for comparison of the Ego to the Ryobi. Please have a look. Let us know if you enjoy it. Thank you.